I knew the HOA was going to blow a gasket the second I poured the first bucket of concrete, but honestly, I couldn't have cared less. You ever have one of those moments where you just know you're about to start a war, but you do it anyway because you're finally doing something for yourself? That was me standing on my own dirt right where the plat map said, "My land ended and nobody else's began," dreaming of a plain old garage with just enough room for my busted canoe and a pile of old fishing gear. But the minute those forms went up, the whole neighborhood might as well have been on red alert. And you can bet the general of that army was Karen A. Billings, late 50s, bleach blonde bob voice like someone smashing a smoke alarm with a broom. She didn't even bother with the doorbell. 3 days after I raised the frame here, she comes marching through my side yard in tennis whites like she owns the place. "You can't build this here, Damon," she snaps, sticking a French manicured finger in my face. "You're obstructing the aesthetic cohesion of the block." Cohesion, she says, like my garage is gonna throw off the entire axis of the planet. I wipe the sawdust off my jeans, look her square in the eye. "Karina, this is my land. I've got the permit. The city approved the plans, and this isn't even HOA territory." But her eyes' narrow lips press so tight I swear I heard Botox squeak. "We voted to annex this section last year." "No, you tried," I shot back. "The county denied it. Remember that little wine and cheese annexation party?" She's turning the color of cherry wood stain, now sputtering about how I'll regret this. I just laugh and tell her she'll regret trespassing. She storms off, but you know it's not over. With people like Karina, it never is. Fast forward a week, sure enough, I get slapped with a lawsuit. Illegal construction, visual obstruction, and get this, emotional distress caused by architectural disruption. That one sent my lawyer Theo into a coughing fit mid-bite. "They're suing you for building on your own property." He grins, flipping through the paperwork like it's the Sunday comics. Man, this is going to be fun. We get a court date a month out. Meanwhile, Karina struts the block like she's already got the trophy, telling everyone my garage is single-handedly tanking home values. Even hands out flyers Photoshop my garage into some kind of 4-story monstrosity. I don't bother responding. I just keep working every nail I sink into. That siding feels like a small, stubborn victory. Then 2 nights before court, I catch her on my security cam. Midnight flashlight in one hand, tape measure in the other, tiptoeing along my back fence, measuring my garage like she's planning a prison break. I print out every frame. Bring it all to court. Court day. The place smells like lemon polish and stale coffee. Back rows full, neighbors, board members, folks who'd rather be anywhere else. Karina swans in navy pantsuit, flanked by her human wallpaper. I walk in alone, file folder under one arm, burnt lobby coffee in the other. Judge Hadley looks like she's seen 100 of these already. Maple Hollow Homeowners Association versus Damon Road, she says, not even pretending to be impressed. Karina's attorney goes first, mustache voice like day-old toast. Rambles about neighborhood integrity and visual continuity. Judge interrupts. "So you're saying this violates your guidelines, but this property's outside your jurisdiction?" He fumbles. "We filed for expansion." I slide a stamped denial across to the bailiff. Judge glances at it, arching an eyebrow. "This was denied over 9 months ago. Yet you proceeded to file a civil suit," Karina leans in to whisper, but her lawyer's got nowhere to run. "We believe the county hadn't finalized the decision. Judge is done. I have a certified rejection right here." That's when I asked to submit video evidence, plug the flash drive into the monitor. There's Karina creeping around my property at midnight, measuring, pausing as the motion sensor light catches her square. The whole room goes silent. One board member practically sinks under his chair. Karina, voice shaking, says it was for documentation purposes. Judge leans in. "On private property. At night. Did you have permission?" Her lawyer looks like he wants to melt into the floor. "No intent to trespass," he mumbles. Judge doesn't blink. "Intent or not, you entered property you do not control. That introduces a new dimension. I'm referring this portion to the county prosecutor. I just sit back. Didn't have to say a word. Back to the suit. Karina claims emotional distress property devaluation. Do you have an appraiser's report? The judge asks. Her lawyer shuffles papers. Nothing. I step up. I do, Your Honor. Certified appraiser signed and sealed. Showing my garage actually raised my property's value by 15%. Judge reads. It looks right at Karina. So far, you filed a claim unsupported by jurisdiction, trespassed, and failed to provide evidence. This isn't about your community, Ms. Billings. It's about the law. Judge asks if I intend to pursue damages. I open my folder. Yes, Your Honor. Legal fees, lost work, days, and reputational harm. Also requesting a restraining order. She nods, bangs the gavel. HOA's case dismissed with prejudice. Restraining order granted, damages to be heard later. Karina's mouth opens, but nothing comes out. Outside, the neighbors are buzzing. Nobody's making eye contact with her. Greg, 2 doors down, sidles up. Didn't know it was all like that, man. Should have asked you. It's not about picking sides, I say. It's about facts. He nods, looking embarrassed. She told us you built over the property line. That's why I pulled the plat and permits before I poured a single slab. Next couple weeks, things snowball. County prosecutor opens an investigation. Turns out Karina's little midnight mission wasn't her first rodeo. Anonymous tip, probably one of her own board, uncovers a locked cabinet in the clubhouse with dossiers on residents she didn't like. Photos snapped under the pretense of compliance checks, plus some creative bookkeeping on the Community Beautification Fund. The dominoes start falling fast. Karina resigns, no big speech. Just a midnight email and a for sale sign on her lawn. Eliza, the new acting president, calls me personally. I read the transcript. We're reviewing everything. I'm sorry. Appreciate it. I say, just don't let it happen again. That weekend, I finally hang the garage door, stand back, and realize I've built more than a garage. I've put something solid between myself and all that noise. Eliza's first move, open meeting, no agenda, just a folding table and a yellow legal pad. The whole neighborhood shows up, tension thick enough to carve. She says, we need to start over. The last administration left a mess. If you've been fined or cited, bring your paperwork. We're reviewing everything. Silver-haired lady stands up, shaking a stack of manila envelopes. I got 14 of these, half with no warning. Eliza just points, give them to Greg, he's documenting. Suddenly, Greg's volunteering for cleanup duty. People start sharing stories, lawn chairs left out, hummingbird feeders, a flower bed 2 inches off color. Then Detective Harlan stands, badge on his chest. My office is investigating unlawful surveillance and unauthorized entry. We've got 4 confirmed incidents of the former president in backyards without consent. One homeowner had garage footage, shows her rummaging through boxes. That's a felony. Room goes dead quiet. Eliza promises full cooperation, turns over all digital records, brings in the county oversight office for an audit. A week later, subpoenas forensic accountants, hidden bank account with $70,000 moved in 18 months, most of it from HOA dues. Karina's cousin on the account never seen at a meeting. The charges roll in embezzlement, unlawful entry, falsified records. Her mugshot makes the news, sunglasses and windbreaker, but there's no hiding. The HOA appoints Greg compliance chair, his first act. No more weaponized letters. This office helps, not harasses. Residents start getting checks, quiet, apologies, real money back. Meanwhile, I finish my garage solar panel workbench pegboard. But what changed wasn't just my space, it was the neighborhood. Folks wave for real, not just out of habit. Some ask for help, reading plat maps. One night Eliza stops by, hands me a notarized apology from the board, says, "Ever thought of running for a seat?" I laugh. I just wanted a garage, not a revolution. She grins. Sometimes they're the same thing. By month's end, Maple Hollow feels lighter. Subpoenas turn up a fake consulting company funneling HOA money out of state. Turns out Karina's brother-in-law ran the account. Now we're talking FBI wire fraud, interstate charges, the kind of thing you'd see on Dateline. New board, temporary oversight, public budgeting, real votes. I helped draft the new charter, rotating leadership, no more backroom deals. One afternoon, County Inspector Meredith drops by, wants my laminated plat survey for the files. "You're the reason we caught all this," she says. "Most people roll over. You didn't." "Didn't feel brave," I say. "Just wanted my space." That's how it starts. By the time the audit's done, they've tracked $122,000 stolen. Grand jury wire fraud. Karina's brother-in-law flips for a plea deal, but Karina herself refuses to name names, gets 5 years no parole restitution for every victim. Her house goes up for sale to pay folks back. Next community meeting, Eliza brings voting forms, new rules, any fines, changes, or restrictions. Need a real vote, 60% or more. The whole room lines up, 92% approval. Greg hands me a clipboard. That's the loudest silence I've ever heard. He's right. Couple days later, kid shows up at my door, school project on community reform. "Why didn't you just tear down the garage when they told you to?" he asks. I think about it. Because if you give up what's yours just to keep the peace, they never stop. You gotta draw the line somewhere. He scribbles it down, nods. Final hearings in federal court. Karina gets sentenced, restitution ordered, court trustee selling her house. Someone tapes up a sign on the bulletin board, "Justice has no HOA limits." I didn't write it, but I wish I had. Now mornings are quiet, no warning letters, no cars circling taking pictures. The new board posts everything online, meetings are live streamed. Neighbors talk again, real talk, not whispers. One Saturday, Greg pulls up, hands me a framed certificate, community integrity recognition, for standing firm even when the ground shook. I hang it above my pegboard, not because I need a trophy, but because for once I feel like I can breathe in my own home. So let me ask you, if someone told you to tear down what's yours for their own comfort, would you? Or would you draw your own line? Drop your stories below. I want to hear how you stood your ground, or maybe when you wish you had. And hey, hit that subscribe, because there's a lot more to justice than a name on a plat map, and next time it might just be your story that gets told.